So, why are we talking about fall damage in the first place here?
I think the origin of the name came from me just like playing Sekiro badly.
I like how you had to think there. Like, was it Sekiro? Was it Ori and the Blind Forest? Was it Silksong? Was it every other game that I've ever played?
Here's the thing. At the beginning of each game, the first thing I am going to do is I'm going to jump off the map and try to see if the fall damage is going to hurt. Because, like, there are two kinds of games in this world. There are the games in which fall damage is real and the games in which fall damage is not real. D&D, weirdly enough, not real. You can survive a big fall. But Sekiro, very, very real. And that is going to be the first thing I do in any game I jump into because I want to, like, test the bounds. I remember back when I was playing Another Crab's Treasure, another Souls-like.
Great game.
I bought it like the day it came out. And it was like a little buggy. And I was like, oh, let's
just a tad.
Let's see how buggy it can get. And there was like one guy who's blocking your path. I think it is like during the first scene where you're talking to the queen and about to like get your sword and actually play the game of the game. And I just remember being like, yeah, but I can get past that invisible wall, can I? And I did by falling through the map and having to restart the entire game. It was like 6 minutes, but yeah.
So the fall damage itself didn't hurt you. It just wasted your time?
And that's the biggest hurt of them all, isn't it?
That's the one thing you can never get back. You can use the kelp pods to restore your HP, but you can't use them to restore the time that you lost.
One of my formative experiences was playing Bubsy on Sega Genesis, and I'm sad that I didn't play a real 2D side-scroller like a Mario.
I mean,
Silksong is basically a Mario game, right? You have a little dude who's in red, jumping over little life forms, primarily of the fungus or bug-like variety, trying to save a princess.
I mean, the princess is you, I guess.
How materially different is the like Tanuki glide or the cape glide mechanic in Super Mario compared to the billowing umbrella drifting ability that you get in Silksong through the second area?
I would say it basically could not be more different, but to throw you somewhat of a bone, it's kind of like the parasol that Peach uses in Mario Brothers 2.
Oh, it is. You're right. Amazing. Decades of game design, and we've come back to the same place.
So maybe Silksong isn't a Mario game. Maybe Silksong is like the natural progression from Super Princess Peach on the DS.
Everyone thought it was a Hollow Knight sequel. It's actually a Super Princess Peach for the Nintendo Switch sequel.
Yeah, Hollow Knight's not real.
I mean, I still haven't beaten it, so how real could it be?
Exactly. Speaking of things that are not real and cannot hurt you, welcome to Fall Damage Can't Hurt You, where fall damage can't hurt you, but our takes can. I'm your host, username equals pants, and I have a crippling addiction to Metroidvanias that I have chosen this exact moment to come clean about.
Hi, I am your host, Zintendo64. I am equally addicted to Metroidvanias, but currently I am slogging my way through Souls-likes.
And hey, my name is Roxel Voxel. I am a recovering Metroidvania addict and a burgeoning 2D anime fighting game addict. Let me tell you about my new god, Hitbox.
Oh boy. I love how all of us have a major problem, but just we don't have time for that today, and we will not talk about it again. This is a podcast where we bring a fresh, new take to you every single episode. As we said, fall damage can't hurt you, but this might. If you feel personally harmed by the take that I am about to express, then really there's only one thing you can do, which is go to the comments and tell me how wrong I am. But maybe listen to the rest of the episode first, because you might find yourself falling for this take. The take this episode, our inaugural take. Silksong is a cozier game than Stardew Valley. Thoughts?
I feel this so potently in my body. The basic premise of Silksong, to me, is a virtual reenactment of a study abroad experience, which I never got to enjoy as an undergraduate. Basically, you are traveling through a foreign country, interacting with the locals. You're visiting what's effectively like ancient monasteries through what I can only imagine is Bug Europe. And you're
Bug
reconnecting
Spain.
with like your ancient Bug Spain. In a way, you're connecting with your heritage, your ancestry as a spider bug person,
Weaver, I
Like,
guess, technically.
Yeah. Yeah.
And materially, how different is that from a white girl named Rachel O something going to Ireland to visit the old country and say, "Oh, I'm Irish."
There's even one very direct point of comparison here, which is the visit to the Guinness factory. You also get the flea brew in Silksong. Like, both of these people are drinking.
I'm trying so hard to figure out like a Blarney Stone, but there's nothing. That's nothing here.
Unfortunately, they can't all be perfect parallels, I guess. The reason that I ultimately have this take is the mechanics that I associate with coziness and the way that those play out in Silksong. And I think, Roxel, the way that you described it is pretty much perfect, where exploration is a cozy mechanic to me. Being able to just go around the world and kind of just explore at your own pace. And yes, sometimes the locals try to, okay, maybe almost always the locals try to kill you, but like, you're just exploring. You're going around. If you die, it's fine. You can come back later. It's not a huge deal. That's very cozy to me. Especially if, like, you know, there's a cool aesthetic in the world and all of the areas are really fun to explore and there's some weird stuff going on that makes you kind of say, like, oh, okay, that's weird. I'm not going to think about that right now. It's a very cozy game to me.
I very much agree, especially Stardew Valley is like a lot of people's cozy games. I like Stardew Valley. I played it when it first came out. It's a very, very different game than it was then, and I don't want to pretend to know what it is now. It's a Pandora's box. But what I played of it like was cozy. But what feels more cozy to me in Silksong is like the trouble I came into while playing Stardew Valley. I did the things the game told me to do, but not the things that like the game doesn't tell you to do, but everybody else will do. So for example, the game's like, hey, build up a farm, buy some seeds, go to the mines. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do all that. A season or two in, and I'm at like this festival and everybody's like, oh, you should invite the person who you have the closest relationship with. And I'm like, I didn't know I was supposed to be having relationships with people. I was told to build a farm. And you know what I've been doing? I've been in the mines. I've been building sprinklers. I've been planting strawberries. That was the meta back in the day. I don't know what it is now.
Yeah, strawberries are pretty legit.
Strawberries are still quite good, yeah.
I'm holding on to a farm that's nearly like year 3 because I believe deep down I will achieve perfection.
Yeah.
But
that's the thing is like I achieved perfection in Stardew Valley in terms of like having a well-maintained farm. And then I didn't actually get to know people because the game doesn't actually make it where you have to talk to people. And like Silksong does. Like you have to talk to your NPCs. They're going to be how you find quests. They're going to be how you like, you know, accept rewards. You are helping people actively. And I think that's a big cozy part of it for me. It's like, oh yeah, I get to like build up this little city and help these little bugs. Is it going to be through having to sludge through a swamp? Yes, but it's not the mines.
How different is the poison swamp than the desert mines in Stardew Valley?
I mean, there's a lot of similarity to like the danger mines when you unlock the walnut room where there's like a status ailment that makes it so you can't eat food. That's like, like Miyazaki wishes. Your Estus flasks, get those out of here. Can't use those, idiot. Have fun rolling for another 10 minutes. I think the thing for Stardew Valley with me that makes it, like, I would actually go farther than just it isn't cozier than Silksong.
Yes.
I actually think Stardew Valley is an immensely sweaty game.
And still that binary.
The cozy versus sweaty dichotomy. And the reason for that is, even if you do all that stuff, right, like even if you do all that stuff, even if you're like, oh, I'm going to form relationships with everyone in town and I'm going to see their hard events and all of that, there's still that day timer mechanic. There's still that, how much can you squeeze into a single day? How much can you squeeze into a single week? How much can you squeeze into a single season because the fish go away at the end of the season? Did you get all the fish? At least I have a defect in my brain where when I play a game like that, I have to try to cram in as much in as little time as possible. And it makes it not a cozy experience because I'm trying to like, I'm running my Stardew Valley farm like the fucking Navy.
Pants, this brings up a point that I wanted to ask you about earlier, and I think it's in relation to exploration as an inherently like cozy activity. What do you think the relationship between the coziness of exploration is relationship to like temporality? Because in some way, time doesn't necessarily exist in a Metroidvania, especially a game like Silksong, where progress in terms of how the world changes is contingent on your ability to force progress through progression, mechanical, defeating bosses, navigating the space. Whereas for Stardew Valley, progress happens. That timer, it keeps clicking.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like progress happens whether you do or not. It's I think that's a great way of describing it because actually I think an interesting game to throw into the mix here, like a hand grenade, is Majora's Mask.
Yeah.
Majora's Mask to me is a very sweaty game because although you have this boundless exploration, you have this like super cool world to really get enmeshed in. You also have the moon constantly staring at you like, I'm gonna get you. Final Fantasy VII, the meteor that never actually lands until you're ready for it to. Like, it's not like that. It will land whether you're ready or not when you hit 0 on day 3. It's a very sweaty game because, again, you have these cycles that you're trying to squeeze the last bit out of, and just like little things like, oh god, I missed this one window to talk to Cafe, and now I have to play the entire cycle over so that I can complete that quest line. And like, maybe you missed it by 1 minute. Sucks to suck.
I think if you really want to assess like the sweatiness of a game's temporality, look at the way mods affect its relationship to time. So one of the key ways, I think of my spouse. She almost exclusively plays Stardew Valley through mods, and the one mod that she will always install alters the progression of time. It extends the length of a day to allow her to do all the things that she wants to do. Right? I think inherently modding is a sweaty activity, and it's the foundation of a point I want to bring on later on that I think Skyrim, everyone has it wrong. That is the sweatiest of games. It is not a cozy game, and I think it speaks to like how fundamentally modding, if you need to mod some critical dimension of the game in order to fully like enjoy it, I think that speaks to some inherent sweatiness to it.
Yeah, I would agree. It's funny because when you look at the what are the mods that people are adding into Silksong? Giving yourself the ability to be in the jail state outside of the jail so that you can make the bosses even more miserable to fight. Like,
yeah. I have a good counterpoint here.
Okay.
As y'all both know from off the pod, I've been playing through Moon RPG, and it starts sweaty and becomes cozy in this kind of temporality bent, even though you are always on the clock. So, the way the game works is it is 90s RPG. It starts and it looks like it's going to be like a very traditional knight, goes around the world, slashes through all the monsters, wins, but you play through that for a bit and it kind of progresses very quickly. You see your character kind of auto leveling. After playing 5 minutes, the game reaches the final boss and your character's at max level, and then you like beat it, scare quotes the game, and then what happens is your character is sucked into the game and you are now actually playing the real Moon as like this boy that gets sucked into his own game console, trying to save the world that you just destroyed 5 minutes ago through playing through the game. It's really good. It's like it is very purposefully trying to invert a lot of RPG stereotypes and all that. But key to our discussion is one of the things you're very early introduced in the game is that you're always on a clock. Like there is in your upper left-hand corner a clock that just says, you know, whatever time of day it is, and there's a line on it, and it's a red line. Once you hit that red line, you will straight up game over. And at the beginning of the game, you have like 2 minutes maybe. It feels very Outer Wilds. This game was so sweaty for me. I found myself just like constantly trying to min-max my like how many animals I could save, how many conversations I could have, how many people I could talk to, where I could go in this world. And it felt very at odds with the premise of this game being, you know, inverting of the kind of approach you have to RPGs of like killing every monster, going every place, slaying everything, trying to do things, be a completionist. But as the game progressed, you slowly level up and you get more time. What ends up happening is like to complete all of the quests in the game, sometimes you just have to like sit there. There's no way to automatically progress the time in the game. There's no way to do things faster, meet people on different times. There's a like week-long clock in the game and different things happen on different days. There's no like in-game clock. If you were to like just wait it out forever, it would happen. But like if you want something to happen tomorrow, either you have to like go to bed in the game and just keep going back to sleep and to sleep, or more often than not, you're just like sitting there, like listening to the world, hearing the birds in the game, talking to people, kind of taking a stroll. Eventually the kind of clock inverts, and instead of being something that forces you to do as many things as possible, as quickly as possible, you feel the time passing. And at first it's really annoying because you're like, ugh, I want to beat this game. I want to get through it. I want to, you know, whatever. But then you're like, actually, this is kind of cozy. You get to create your own music that you can buy in the game through, like, it's called Moon Disc. You have your own little CD player in the game. And at one point, I just had to wait for like 2 or 3 days to complete a quest. And I just like made a playlist and listened to it in the game. And I'm like, actually, this is a cozy game.
Amazing.
I think there's almost a sweaty to cozy event horizon based on looping time mechanics, like in Moon. Thinking of a game like Outer Wilds as sort of, I think, like the most dynamic and compelling usage of a repeating like time cycle in a game that I've ever had, mostly because it made me reckon with God and want to fist fight the Lord.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten to that part of the game yet, but I'm looking forward to the forced atheism speedrun, I guess.
Oh, yeah. God.
Fist Fighting the Lord is my favorite Mountain Goat song. I don't even know if
Bring
that's
Molly
not
in
actually
right now.
one. I don't know if I can make that joke. That might actually be a real one.
Sound off in the comments if that is an actual Mountain Goat song and it is your favorite because you heard it at Charlotte in concert in 2003.
John Darnielle, if you are listening right now,
Which I assume you are.
man, have I got a song idea for you.
Also, John, I'm trying to get all of the 365 songs from your book. Please send some of them to me. Nobody else. Nobody else listening, you don't get it. This is just between me and John. Don't worry about it. Damn. He's going to send them to me. I'll complete the book, give it to my Mountain Goats loving girlfriend. Everything will be right with the world.
Nintendo, if you knew the few degrees of separation you have between yourself and John Darnielle, you'd be surprised.
He's behind me, isn't he?
We're learning things about ourselves in this podcast today. I did not come into this thinking that we were going to get here.
Nintendo articulates it very well with her description of the emotional and mechanical arc you go through Moon. And I think that's generally applicable to most of the loop-based video games that I've played. I would say they're more linear in the aspect that there's an end state. Something like Loop Hero, well, I think Loop Hero is a fucking vibe, but for something like Outer Wilds,
it is.
Because you know that in 22 minutes, the sun will explode, it will consume the galaxy, or you are going to mishandle the funky little physics in the game and cast yourself either, into the void or into the sun itself. You make peace with that eventuality. And suddenly what could be a very sweaty bind you find yourself in suddenly becomes a space of play where you're able to segment the possibility of what a particular session or 22 minutes a cycle can be, right? And I think in that way, once you have a framework where there's this eventuality, there's a constant, then you can extrapolate from that and bring coziness into it.
Yeah, I'm thinking of like mapping this onto roguelikes, which I think is another interesting genre to talk about this dichotomy with.
Oh
Like
yeah, roguelikes, peak cozy.
the extent to which a roguelike is a comfy game for me, a cozy game for me, is pretty much entirely bound by how good I am at the core gameplay loop. Like Slay the Spire, very cozy game. Balatro, very cozy game. Dead Cells, sweatiest game I've ever played in my entire fucking life. Because I'm bad at it. Like, really bad. Like, minute to minute, I am fighting for my life in every single room. There's nothing cozy about it, even though it should be cozy because of the exact mechanic you're talking about here. It's just that I never, like, reached that level of comfort with being in that world in the first place.
Yeah, like I would love for Hades to be a cozy game for me. I love the characters, I love the universe. I was reading Greek mythology as like a 5th grader on the school bus.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I suck at Hades, and so it's not very cozy at all.
Real. Yeah, very real.
You two could not bring two more like salient examples of absolutely cozy games to me that fit within the roguelike genre. I cannot.
Hades is cozy to me. Like that one actually is cozy to me, but I can see why it wouldn't be because of Dead Cells. Dead Cells is cozy to you though, it sounds like.
Yeah, no, I think Dead Cells and Hades scratch a very similar itch in the way that. So one thing that, you know, Nintendo can speak to this, with me being a non-recovering but adamant Monster Hunter player, so much so that I can play 400 hours of Monster Hunter Wilds and be disappointed by it, which is a true fan. And
Wow.
for me, I am such a gear game slut, which means the thing that I find most enjoyable, one of the things I find most enjoyable from a mechanical dimension, is the process of designing builds. And the thing that's naturally like problematic about developing a build within the space of an RPG is that relationship to time, which is where I think sometimes RPGs can be particularly sweaty to me. For instance, I'm doing another playthrough of Avowed, which is great. Everyone should play Avowed, but do it through means where you don't support Microsoft as an organization. Figure out the way to do that yourself. The thing with Avowed is I know that the space between me developing a build and being able to develop my next build is potentially like tens of hours, right? Because if I want to see this build all the way through to its apex, to its full realization, then I have to invest about 20 levels, which it's multiple stages, it's multiple quests that I've been through, that I'm deeply familiar with how the distribution of experience points lead to going to the next level. And then I get to a point, especially in this playthrough, where I know how long it'll take me to get to a point where this build I'm experimenting with could be interesting. But if I get to that point and I'm disappointed by that, have I then wasted this time? Have I inverted the cozy, like satisfying aspect of the build making and suddenly made it a very sweaty activity? Because now I'm thinking, oh man, have I made the wrong decision? Have I committed to the wrong build in my life? Have I chosen the wrong person? Yeah. Am I in the right career? Have I like totally like steered wrong? Should I have been a doctor? Anyway, what's so appealing about Dead Cells and Hades is that the build is the run. There is choice taken away from you from the inherent random genderization of the games. You are given a set of weapons to select from at the beginning of Dead Cells, and you need to improvise on that. Every single run, even if I know that I'm going to get decimated at the end of a run, even if I think I know I have bitten off too much I can chew with boss cells and Dead Cells, even if I know that this is going to be painful and end in misery and the gnashing of teeth and the breaking of bones, I know that I will enjoy the journey to that failure because I'll be able to experience that satisfaction of developing a build.
I think that really does like crack something for Hades for me in terms of why it feels so sweaty. If I have to Google something in a game to figure out how it works or where to go next and stuff like that, that's when it starts getting less cozy. Like, that can sometimes be fun, but like, that's also why like I struggled in Stardew, because I was trying to optimize
I was going to say that
things.
brings us back to Stardew. What you should do, there's a mod in Stardew, going back to your point about mods, Roxel, but there's a mod in Stardew which can detect if you are on the Stardew Valley wiki, and if it detects that, it deletes your save file.
I would be so scared that I would be like doing something completely unrelated. I'm like on regular Wikipedia doing what I usually do, just like Googling random animals or whatever. And then like my Stardew Valley would be like, actually, that's the Stardew Valley wiki right there.
You're looking at the Wikipedia for horse? There are horses in this game.
This is kink.
Are there horses in Stardew Valley? Did they add those?
God
yes.
damn it, Nintendo. When's the last time you played this game?
You really did play this game early on.
The horses have been around for so long, not just like, like historically in the world from a biological and ecological perspective, but they have been in this game for years. Here's how long horses have been in this game. There was a point where you couldn't put a hat on a horse, and now you can put a hat on a horse. Think about that. Just from like a design perspective.
I think that when you couldn't put a hat on a horse, the horses aren't in the game. If you can't put a hat on it, it doesn't matter. Take it out.
I was about to make some joke about like, oh, at that point, was it not concerned ape, but concerned insert like name of evolutionary ancestor of ape, but primitive tailless catarrhine monkey just doesn't have the right ring to it. So unfortunately, that joke's not going to land either.
No, just put your pussy into it. You got this.
Put your pussy into it, pants.
I would be remiss not to bring up one of the most like important ways that you can make a game sweatier, which is extremely relevant to both me and Zintendo, which is speedrunning. I don't think either of us does speedruns, but we are great lovers of watching speedruns. And just to bring it back to the specific games in play, like if you want Silksong to not be a cozy game, speedrun it. Timothée Chalamet himself, like that alone is going to be enough to drive you insane, because there's randomness, and it turns out randomness when you were trying to run as quickly as possible is not good. But Stardew Valley speedruns also, back to the sweaty game among the two of them, insane. The things that you can do when you speedrun that game, like the tiny micro optimizations you can make, having like a specific keybind to cancel your animation, which like not only lets you cut trees down faster, but also like gets you out of certain cutscenes so you can like walk while the Junimos are like bringing the package back to the hearth in the community center. Again, if you want to supercharge the sweaty experience there.
What you're telling me is in Stardew, you can hit cancel tree chopping to extend your combos.
Yeah.
Basically, to be fair, any number of axe swings in Stardew Valley on a tree is a true combo. Like the tree isn't going to do anything about it. But I do think this is a segue to talking about fighting games for you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
One of the things that I'm doing this year that I've talked to y'all about is embracing this theme of return, which, if you have watched the video from CGP Grey about his distaste for the notion of New Year's resolutions, you'll get an idea for what themes are, but basically they're a more like flexible framework for how to orient your goals for either a particular year or season, a month. And for me, I've chosen the year of return for a lot of different reasons. Some of them just to be cheap, because I shouldn't keep buying new shit to satiate this craving for dopamine that's a product of having the attention span of a squirrel and living most of my life undiagnosed with ADHD. For me, the notion of returning when I was younger, probably my favorite genre of game were fighting games. So think of like Marvel vs. Capcom, the Dragon Ball Budokai games, so the ones that come before Tenkaichi, but they're like true 2D fighters. I remember, I played, there was a 2D Power Rangers fighter for Sega Genesis that I would play with my grandmother. An hysterical sight, because you had a small, blonde, low toe-headed boy-looking child with stereotypical Southern Pentecostal, like, grandma. Like, I don't think I ever saw my grandmother wear pants it was either a skirt or a dress that was effectively a skirt, sitting together, beating away at a Sega Genesis controller. I was so fucking bad at them that my grandmother could beat me pretty consistently in fighting games. I think what we are really like hammering away at is sweatiness is a potential that is contingent on the player's negotiation with the mechanics of a game. Fighting games obviously sort of phenotypically exemplify what we think of as like purely like sweaty games. Like, if you really want to get into a fighting game, any sort of fighting game, you need to like get an understanding of the jargon, which there's so much jargon in fighting games. You need to maybe even get into notions of frame data, which I barely understand, and just simply like the physical dexterity of like memorizing combos. Like it's like if someone just like danced across the like number pad on the keyboard and suddenly said, "Oh, that's a combo." What I find like really like cozy about a fighting game is, especially in modern fighting games, a lot of fighting games are embracing the notion of auto combos, which is when you record the same input on the same button multiple times and it executes a combo. Dragon Ball Z Fighters is a great example of this, where if you keep pressing the light attack button, eventually you'll do a pretty like box standard combo involving a super dash. If you keep hitting the medium attack button, you'll wind up doing one of your ultimate moves. And what is more cozy than mashing the same button and cool shit happening? Like, that's really cozy. And you can engage with a fighting game on your own terms. And in some ways, you really need to define like, your relationship to a fighting game. If you want to like get real good at working with a fight stick, figuring out your combos, placing your hands like in the right position on your fight pad, playing rank, grinding, looking at tier list. Listen, you sweat all the way through that, honey. But you can just hang out in training mode or in arcade mode or story mode. You can do combo challenges and you can just fucking vibe. You can just beat the living shit out of Majin Buu as much as you want. What's more comfortable than a feeling of like ability and accomplishment in a game with absolutely minimal effort of mastery? That's great.
I feel this in a way, though, in like not fighting games, but racing games. My partner and I have been playing a lot of Mario Kart and Sonic Cross Worlds recently. These were games that, like, for the longest time, I really like bounced off of, except for in like party settings. I thought like, oh, if I'm not like perfect at them and like really being hella sweaty in finding the optimized combo and hitting the perfect line or whatever you do in racing games, I thought they were just like I thought either I would have to like grind this out until I was really, really good or like would never have any fun with these games. But by playing it with her, it's been like I've been like just messing around, playing with characters I never would, playing with combos that don't make sense, trying to go with a car that is like objectively terrible and just being like, hey, let's see what the piece, like what kind of shells that get thrown at me, how we can handle this. Will we get to the end of the race? Who knows? And it's like become a much cozier game through that. And it's just partially a change of perspective, partially playing with my girlfriend. And I think fighting games can possibly be that for you too, where it's just like, if you're in the training mode and you're just like here to mess around and have fun and enjoy the like thrill of the game, it's going to be a lot more cozy than if you're like, what is the top tier list character and what are the best combos and how do I push the buttons in all the right orders to get it perfectly?
I mean, what better example of a cozy fighting game players than you and I? You're a Nest main and I'm a Ganondorf main. There's something real cozy about that.
Oh boy.
Some of the times the coziness is just getting your ass spanked. I feel like there's a zen mode that you can enter. This happens a lot in fighting games where once you sort of like liberate yourself from this competitive mindset of like, no, I have to win, and just allow yourself to say, you know what? Pick a trio of the most absolute biggest goofs in this goddamn game and I'm going to be devastated by the Wazzler somewhere on Marvel vs. Capcom 2. And you know what? This is exactly what I want. I want that ass whooping because I want to play with my little band of freaks.
There's something beautiful about that. Yeah.
This is kink.
Not to be the mean lesbian, but are we just conflating like comfort game with cozy game? A cozy movie might be, oh God, like a Christmas movie that you love and it's like comforting and like sweater weather kind of vibes. But a comfort movie can be anything. Like there's somebody out there whose comfort movie is The Descent. And I'm like, that movie terrifies me. I hate it. And every time I watch it, I have nightmares. I've watched it multiple times. I shouldn't, but I have. Maybe it's my comfort movie. Anyways, there's somebody out there whose comfort movie is something very uncomfy for a lot of people. And that could be one thing. That is whatever. But that's not a cozy movie, you know?
I see your point.
Like,
I don't think I'm conflating the two, for at least for what it's worth. Like, Majora's Mask is a comfort game for me. It is still sweaty.
Yeah.
Just inherently because of the mechanics of it, because of the way that the story plays out. It is a sweaty game in my eyes. It's absolutely a comfort game. It's like maybe my favorite game of all time, in fact. It's just that, you know, it's not a cozy game.
I think in a similar vein, maybe fighting games are not cozy games, Roxel.
They're not for me, at least.
I'm picturing it in the world. There's the wholesome game showcase. There's the cozy game showcase on YouTube. And like, it's going to have a series of games that they're going to be announced this year. I don't think they're going to put Dragon Ball Fighter Z in there. If everything is cozy, then nothing is.
Stardew Valley versus. We have Leah going against Haley. Haley, the master of the white girl sweep. Leah's like really doing her zone, trying to like.
She's definitely got like a chisel or something like that.
Oh god, definitely got the chisel. Which character? Oh, okay. So Abigail's definitely like the one with the install ultimate because she like puts on the armor and like starts like really getting in with the sword and shit. So this is really like where we need to come together as a community. We need to call a concerned ape, tell them to reach out to Arc Systems and say, hey.
I'm going to say it right here. I think that a fighting Stardew Valley game inside of Stardew Valley is going to come out sooner than the Haunted Chocolatier.
Oh god, don't.
Harsh but fair. I
hate that you're manifesting this out in the world. You should really reckon with the power you have.
So, to circle back on the original take here, Silksong is a cozier game than Stardew. How are we feeling about that take at the end of this discussion? Who agrees with that take?
What is there to discuss? This is obvious.
Yeah, I definitely do as well. I was just thinking about it when you were saying it again. It's the beautiful little house you can build in Silksong. That's so cozy. It has to be a cozier game.
You can build a house in Silksong?
Spoilers for Roxel. Hey,
no,
this podcast
you can't
is just,
build a house in Silksong. No.
There's no such things as houses.
What house? I've never even heard of that.
I really need to finish this game.
You should really finish Silksong. Yeah.
You should really finish Silksong. It's a great game.
Bonus take. Roxel should finish Silksong. I agree.
So I tried the other day playing a little bit of Silksong using the leverless fight pad.
Oh, God.
It was not an enjoyable experience. I think the D-pad is overrated for 2D Metroidvanias. Don't at me.
I also would like to, at some point, throw to, not like the hot take of the episode, but this like the medium take, the mild take. What's the fire sauce? That's hotter than hot.
The tepid take. How about that?
The tepid take. I think that your leverless fight pad is just an ergonomic keyboard with not enough buttons.
It is an ergonomic keyboard with not enough buttons.
And like, that's fine. People played on keyboards ever since the dawn of time.
George Washington was dragon punching the British.
Yeah, that's actually exactly what the primitive tailless catarrhine monkeys were using back in the day. That's a callback right there. It's a podcast. Boom, print it.
Hey, it worked this time. You did it.
In 1492, Columbus Hadoukened the ocean blue.
I didn't realize that he was a shonen. I think that's it sounds like we're in agreement on the main take. It sounds like there's some controversy on the tepid take of the episode. Should we move on to some other segments that we like to have on this? I say that as if we've done this before. Some other segments that we would like to have on this podcast.
I do need to return to the tepid take because I feel like there's a little bit of quibbling that I need to do. My counter argument is that everything is basically a keyboard.
No, that one's wrong.
I don't think that one's incorrect.
Functionally, a controller.
Me looking at my glass of water. Yes,
you press them the right way, and they have the right feedback. It just really depends if do you want a linear glass? Do you want a clicky glass? Genuinely, a controller. At the end of the day, it is a PCB board with different inputs attached to buttons on a chassis. It just depends on whether you want to do it with your thumbs or do you want to get the digits involved with it. Do you want to get a little index in there?
Hey, Roxel, is a mouse a keyboard?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
So playing on mouse and keyboard
Precisely.
is playing on keyboard
squared.
Got it. So essentially what we've come to here is that the ergonomic keyboard is really a leverless fight pad with too many keys.
They should take some of them out. You don't need all those letters.
See, exactly. The thing like I'm harping on, like, when you hear something and like on a rational level, you have to sort of like submit to it and say, this is a valid point, but there's an energy dwell in your body that just like rolls inside you and says, no, something about this is wrong. And I think I realize what my body is trying to tell me in this moment. And what my body is telling me is there are too many fucking keys on a keyboard for it to be an optimal fight pad.
Here's the question I have. Which of the letters on an ergonomic keyboard would you just take away in order to have it to be also the ultimate fight stick?
So we got like 16 keys here total?
Tell me the 10 letters. Take them. Take them off the ergonomic keyboard. I want to know which ones you're cutting.
Well, I think we're cutting even more because 2 of these are basically a spacebar cut in half.
Yeah, and all the numbers maybe? Or do you want to cut even more letters but keep some numbers?
I guess the world will never know which letters we're supposed to cut, unfortunately. We could start the recent gaming check-in while Roxel's stepped away if we want.
Yeah, I guess we could do that.
What are you playing these days? How's it going?
So I said at the top of the show, I'm playing Sekiro, and I'm also playing Hades again. And
yes,
and the goal is ultimately to combine these in a way for myself because here's the problem. I'm not good at video games. Don't know how to do them.
Felt. Yeah.
The thing that has kept me from ever beating Hades, like I played it also when it came out many years ago. I got all the way through, spoilers, the first health bar of Hades, the eponymous Hades.
Hades himself, yes.
I was about to say Mr. and then last name, but I don't think he has one.
Mr. Chthonic.
Is he like a Mario situation? Is he Hades?
Hades. Please, Mr. Hades is my father. My name is Zagreus Hades.
Anyways, bad at video games. And I want to be able to go through battles and not panic. And so that's why I've been playing Sekiro, because like if you panic in Sekiro, you will just die.
You die. Yeah.
There's not anything
just,
else.
Very, very quickly you die.
And like,
okay, I see the logic. I guess that gets to the second question. How is it going?
Good, actually. Well, it went bad,
nice.
And now it's going good.
Yeah. I mean, with games like that, that's often how it goes. Like, I haven't played Sekiro specifically, but what I understand of the combat is it's very similar to Nine Souls. And there was a gigantic learning curve for me with Nine Souls, where it was just like, oh, I'm throwing myself directly into the meat grinder. Fight after fight after fight after fight. Oh, I get it now.
Yeah, so my meat grinder was Lady Butterfly. You play through like the first area. there's several NPCs that point you to go into like this memory. This like the boss inside of that memory is Lady Butterfly, and it's like it can be the first boss you encounter, but you also don't have to go in the memory. And like I went because this NPC is like, you should do this thing. It's very cool.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, she will fucking body you. I tried so hard. In that game, there's a mechanic where if you die too many times, the NPCs you've met will start like contracting a disease called dragon rot.
Oh.
Which like, hey, that's a very sweaty mechanic.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
I love dying in Souls-like games. If every time I died in Silksong, like the little people in that first village, what's it called?
Oh god, it's not Dirtmouth. It's Moss Grotto? Something like that?
If every time I played Silksong, one of my favorite little NPCs got sick, I would eat my Switch. Like, I can't. That would make me so sad. In Sekiro, I care about these NPCs like a lot less. Like, sorry to y'all. You're fine, but sorry. Lady Butterfly can be the first boss you meet, but shouldn't be the first boss you meet because like it is a forged in fire kind of moment as you are like having to learn how to deflect every hit, dodge every move, stuff like that. I feel like I had to like go into the hyperbolic chamber and like just grind out all these lives as every NPC I've ever met in this game is just falling down, not dead, they don't die, but like falling down from this illness. And then like I went online and they're like, hey, you don't have to do her first. You can go to the other bosses. And after like getting Lady Butterfly down to like the last bar of health, but not finishing and then attacking the other bosses, I was like, wow, video games are easy. I'm a god.
One of the beautiful things about Metroidvania is where you just like realize you're accidentally throwing yourself into the wood chipper and didn't need to be.
And I love the wood chipper. I'm the person that like tried so hard to kill like Tree Sentinel in Elden Ring. Like I did it so many times until like I have to have somebody like take my hand and be like, hey, not this one. You gotta go.
You don't have to live this way.
But it has made me better at Hades too. Like I very much will panic in the bullet hell situations, and it's gotten me a lot better at like just like having that situational awareness and not being overwhelmed and just being like, what the fuck do I do when there's all these bullets, and just like lock in, get good. I guess I'm not actually good, but I'm getting better. You know, get better, not get good.
Hornet would be proud. Roxel, I think we've got half of your answer. You're using an ergonomic keyboard on a fighting game.
There are multiple facets to what I'm playing at any given time. And there's the game I'm playing with my spouse right now. We're doing our own individual playthroughs of Avowed. Part of that update was the introduction of New Game Plus, but more importantly was the introduction of new races to play. Avowed is a game in the Pillars of Eternity universe. Avowed is effectively their first-person take on it, Skyrim, but a little bit more limited in scope areas rather than an entire open world for you to explore.
See that mountain? You can only climb half of it.
I don't know. I'm a strong believer in curated gaming experiences, but that's a topic for another podcast.
Very much agree. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we got Avowed, we got fighting game on a keyboard. I guess we're all playing Divinity Original Sin 2.
Yeah, we are together.
Yeah, we've got a playthrough going right now. We should check in on that playthrough next time we talk about this. But
we could teleport this to the next episode, over a cliff, into a gorge.
I have been playing mostly RPGs recently. I just finished Escape from Ever After, which just came to Switch 2 recently. It's like a sort of a Paper Mario-like. In many ways, it's like sort of a spiritual sequel to Thousand Year Door. It was good. The gameplay, scratched that itch. There was some fun takes on kind of storybook tales and things in the public domain. But this is, again, maybe a problem that my brain has. Just like nothing truly scratches the Paper Mario Thousand Year Door itch for me. Like you can get the gameplay right, but then like even if the story's good, if it doesn't have the right amount of humor. It just lacks that je ne sais quoi that really made TTYD like the ultimate game for me. It was good though. I think I would recommend it. And I am currently in Slay the Spire 2 waiting room mode, which means I am continuing to slowly push forward my Final Fantasy Tactics campaign.
Paper Mario, Mario RPG, even like Mario and Luigi, like Superstar Sagas. The problem with the RPGs, that platonic idea of them were embodied by those Mario games in the late 90s and early 2000s, they almost sort of become, I'm not sure if mimetic is the right word, but because they become like so like thoroughly sort of associated with the iconography and imagery of Mario, it's hard to sort of become your own thing and sort of stand on its own without living in the shadow of it. You know, you could say like, well, as a counter argument, well, think of every like 3D platformer, every 2D platformer ever. Yes, but there is a difference between platformer as a genre or as a type of game and the very specific kind of turn-based RPG that a Super Mario RPG or a Paper Mario RPG is.
Oh yeah, there have been way more Mario likes than there have been Paper Mario likes.
The best like Paper Mario like the past like 20 years won Game of the Year at the Game Awards. Yes, that's right. Clear Obscure is a Paper Mario like. Come at me.
It is. Again, topic for another time.
You can't cage this animal.
I'll add it to the future hot takes, and maybe also play Paper Mario because I never have.
I really need to play Paper Mario.
Oh, it's real good. You definitely should. I just spoiled some of the gaming news that we were going to talk about. Slay the Spire 2. Oh my God. Slay the Spire 2 is real and it's coming out.
You deck sluts are going to be like eaten so good.
I really like Slay the Spire and beat it a couple of times, but didn't like wring it for all its juice, you know? But I think that puts me in a great position for Slay the Spire 2 because like I know enough of everything in the game to kind of like hit the ground running with Slay the Spire 2, but also I don't feel like burnt out on it in the way I would if I was like, had done 200 runs and like knew every nook and cranny of that. So I'm really excited to be surprised in this because it seems like it has some like genuinely novel mechanics and different ways that like things can develop when you're picking rooms and different locations and such.
I feel like Slay the Spire 2 is like making a sequel to Whippets. It's just an addictive substance that you're just like improving upon and synthesizing, and for not just like the original users, but like a whole new generation of users.
It's one of those where if you didn't know the developers, like if you didn't know Megacrit existed and like were by all accounts perfectly lovely people, you would think like, what does the CIA have against the demographic of gamers? Like, what are they trying to keep us from figuring out? Between this and Balatro, like...
Okay, but here's a question. I'm very excited for Slay the Spire 2. And I was very excited for Silksong, and it ended up very good. But the Slay the Spire 1 and Hollow Knight both did the thing where they were so good and took so long in between 1 and 2 that like everybody began copying them. And that was my fear going into Silksong. It was very original. It's very good. We talked about it for a long time, and I think it's a great game. But do you have any fear that like Slay the Spire 2 is going to feel somewhat rote and routine, given that like we went through the roguelike deck builder like renaissance?
Here is a potentially scorching hot take. No, because none of them ever got it as well as Slay the Spire did. Like so many of them were making extremely basic errors when it came to their interface, the way that they presented information, where it's just like, I am experiencing cognitive load, I'm experiencing drag, just trying to figure out what the hell my cards do. Casey would never have done this to me.
Yeah.
And so like in many ways, I think that Slay the Spire 2 is just going to be like, hey, we're evolving the mechanics, we're evolving the things you can do in the game, but we're still making it very easy to play. Nothing else in the genre has really come close to that experience.
Yeah.
I think that I should have the same worry that you have. I just don't, because I feel like they came at the king and they all missed.
Yeah. And like that's kind of also true for Hollow Knight. I mean, there have been other good Metroidvanias between Hollow Knight 1 and Silksong, but none of them were Hollow Knight.
Many. Yeah. No.
That's the only way you could level it up. I guess that is what also Hades 2 is, but I haven't played enough of Hades to know, and I gotta beat Hades 1 before I can beat Hades 2. That's my little like sapphic dessert.
Yeah, you will love Hades 2 because, oh my god, the amount of sapphic stuff in that game.
Profound, unrelenting sequence of sapphic material.
Okay, real talk, y'all. Just
Yes.
no one else is here in the room. It's just us. Do I have to beat Hades, or can I just go to Hades 2?
You just go to Hades 2.
I would beat it. It's worth beating Hades at least once. Like, you don't even get to unlock some of the most fun weapons in the game until you've beaten it at least once.
Yeah.
And they don't come back in 2, so you kind of do have to experience them in 1.
From my viewpoint, no, you don't have to finish the game. You don't have to finish. However, Pants is right that Hades and Hades 2 are distinct enough from each other to be not superseding experiences going from 1 to 2. And one of the like material ways that's evident is you do not get the same kind of weapons in Hades 2 as you do in Hades 1.
Can I make a pitch?
Yeah.
What if I just do one run of Hades, one run of Hades 2, one run of Hades, one run of Hades 2, and just go back and forth?
There's enough conflicting muscle memory that I don't think that's going to work out super well. You automatically have a sprint in one game. You automatically don't have a sprint in the other. Like, I would probably get my wires crossed personally if I did that.
The key difference between the games. Hades 2 is very much a game about crowd control, whereas Hades is very much, I think, just pure reflexive hack and slash, dungeon to dungeon, room to room combat.
I think there's also a practical concern here, which is if you do start playing Hades 2, it's going to be very sapphic and you're not actually going to go back to Hades.
That is also true. Yeah, you got me.
On the note of you can, parentheses, not, close parentheses, go back, should we talk about Yoko Taro?
Yes.
What the fuck is up here? Yoko Taro's doing Evangelion? Question mark?
Yeah?
Like, I don't know if I have a more complicated thought. Just like, question mark is my thought here.
I say let him cook.
Oh, absolutely. It's going to be a staggering work of genius, and it's going to almost certainly make me like fall into a deep depression. But like, how did this happen?
And it's wild because like literally before this news came out, I was like, what if I just go and play Nier Replica? It's been so long since I played Automata. And I loved it, and also didn't love it in other ways, but also loved it. God, that man could write a story. And I think Ava's a perfect universe for him.
Yeah.
I just need the sad robots. I need the depressed robots, especially because, like, Ava is a lot of sad people put into sad robots, but, like, it's more about the sad people. I want to know if the robots are also sad, or maybe even more sad than the people. Maybe they don't want to be piloted. Maybe Shinji.
I mean, the robots are people.
Yeah,
kind
exactly.
Of,
yeah.
right? I don't know. The one thing that I think we're missing out on here, like I think my ideal video game director's take on Evangelion, the property team up, would be Yoko Taro to write 95% of it, and Kojima to do the instrumentality sequence.
Yeah.
Just imagine.
Imagine Evangelion, directed by James Gunn.
Why did you? Hey.
Oh Lord.
You can't just. Just say terrible things. That's not what we do here.
I'm gonna have to check the little box on Apple Podcasts that says this podcast contains explicit content now.
Content warning.
Not safe in front of children. Contains cognito hazards or whatever the hell they say on the SCP Foundation.
I had to hold myself back from saying Josh Whedon presents Evangelion.
No.
Oh, God. There's still time for them to change it. Don't say that.
Yeah, it just happened. Shh. We're safe right now. Don't tell them. Otherwise, it'll be like Shinji will be voiced by Chris Pratt.
No. No, even worse, it's live action. Shinji is just straight up played by Chris Pratt. The other actors are age appropriate.
You know what? Actually, wait a minute. This sounds experimental.
That's actually kind of cooking. Wait, I shouldn't give them that idea.
Can we put
Not for free.
Chris Pratt in a mech?
Get in the robot, Chris Pratt, or Ray will have to do it again.
Steer Longinus. Like staring at my anus. Chris Pratt. Star-Lord. Longinus. So apparently Star-Lord really cooks in the new Marvel Tokon.
I don't...
Is it because they got a different voice actor? Or?
I don't know where the voice acting.
I can support Star-Lord in those contexts. This seems to be a good segue. Like other slightly less recent but still fairly recent gamer news that's worth talking over. Baldur's Gate 3 is coming to HBO? There have been a lot of strong reactions to the news and the team that's going to be developing the Baldur's Gate 3 show. And also the fact that the Baldur's Gate 3 show is going to be set after the game is completed, which, oh boy, that's going to be interesting. But I think the question that we are best equipped to answer here is, who should have gotten it? Who should be directing Baldur's Gate 3, the show?
Baldur's Gate show presented to you by Josh Whedon.
Please, real answers.
Okay, here. This is the obvious answer. One of my other favorite shows on HBO. But give it to Lindelof. Give it to the Leftovers guy. I don't know what he'll do with it, but it'll make me cry.
Oh boy, that's gonna be interesting.
It'll be weird. And okay,
oh wow,
he's already done things with tentacles in Watchmen, so we got that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like The Leftovers is pretty cosmic horror, but if not, you can also count Watchmen. People are cosmically horrified by Lost. I don't know anything about it, but Roxel, you can chime in.
It had some weird fantasy elements going on. Like I think the biggest question mark in my mind with this particular choice is, can he do high fantasy? Probably. Get the right production team around him. Probably the answer is yes, but I kind of lean towards get the people who were doing the Dunk and Egg show. They're doing a pretty good job on that. It's like a pretty good fantasy show. It's like they've shown that they can do the fantasy thing pretty well. I think that they could potentially handle Baldur's Gate, but Lindelof is a really, really compelling pick to me. Good God, what a show The Leftovers is.
And I just want him to do more things. Give him more projects.
Yeah.
Hey, Hollywood, this is just for me. Give him more projects. Let him do stuff.
Hollywood obviously listening to this podcast.
All of them individually, they listen.
Thank you for that, by the way. We deeply appreciate our many, many, many Hollywood listeners.
It's weird how they have to they play it in every house. I think it might be a little dystopian, but it is what it is.
We're not even running ads.
Exactly. I don't know what they want from it.
Anyway, our show is brought to you by Shadow Legends.
No, I am bleeping that out in post. No free press until they pay us money.
We can't shout out anybody until they pay us.
Shoutouts are officially banned.
Actually, let's bleep out all the names of the games. They don't even get shoutouts either.
Episode 1, bleep, is a cozy game.
Some YouTubers who will have to show a video of the Legend of Zelda video games to demonstrate the emulating capabilities of different hardware will use euphemisms for certain games in order to dodge the Nintendo police. And one of my favorite is Boy Goes Sailing.
The Legend of Zelda, Boy Goes Sailing. The Legend of Zelda, connection to before.
Isn't that what Back in Time is?
Legend of Zelda, flute that is old.
Wait, do you have a pick for the director?
I am so sorry. I have no opinion about this.
Really? No opinion whatsoever?
Being married, have a kid. If I'm going to watch something on a television, it's going to need to be something that the whole family, and in some way that does include our daughter, but is mostly just my spouse and I, can enjoy. Otherwise, it's not something we're going to get really far into. For me, if I could spend my time, I would be probably catching up on some old anime. So I'm really disconnected from the world of television, both Prestige and Schlock.
I was literally gonna say if I can replace Lindelof, the team putting on Dandadan, have them take it on and just make it animated. Yeah, I'll take that.
That's legit. The Dandadan the Dandadan crew are fucking crushing that show. They're doing such a good job. In our group chat earlier today, when we were discussing when we should record, I was like, we got to push that back by 30 minutes. The Dandadan episode that dropped today, I have to research the entire Kabbalah.
Or the author of Dungeon Meshi also like drew all the Baldur's Gate characters from 2, as well as I think half the people from 3.
I remember seeing that. Yeah, did a good job too. Yeah,
make Baldur's Gate 3 anime. Give it to the Dungeon Meshi author and the team doing the Dungeon Meshi TV show.
Yeah.
Roxel, I have a question for you.
I think Bill Lawrence could be the showrunner for the new Baldur's Gate, and we'll take no further questions.
Bill Lawrence?
Ted Lasso, Scrubs.
Ted Lasso?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
I hate that pick, but that's a valid pick.
Categorically, it's a pick you can choose.
There's several directors in the world, and that's one of them. It's not the worst, I guess.
Maybe it's the story of how soccer gets invented in the Baldur's Gate 3 universe. There's this whole like Eldritch Abomination thing happening in the background, never part of the A plot. Never like the people that you're watching invent soccer are just like not part of that action.
I think Karlak could be a great goalie, especially because the fire would probably pop the ball.
The wingspan, yeah. Oh, that too. Ooh.
Okay, so what? Okay,
yeah.
What class then would be Ted Lasso?
Bard. Because he's so charismatic.
Gotta be Bard, right?
Bard.
Yeah, he's charismatic.
Very charismatic.
Yeah, definitely a charisma caster. Yeah.
Charisma caster.
You can't be too weird with this because you're not going to be like Ted Lasso is a barbarian, and he definitely ain't a wizard. He's got a lot of traits, but he ain't the smartest egg in the hen.
Yeah, that hen right there, it's got a smart egg in it.
I guess the question you have to ask is the sports industrial complex lawful and evil enough to qualify as a diabolical patron? Because if so, maybe we're dealing with a warlock.
Yeah. Sports is evil. I mean, many things is evil.
Shout outs to the Olympic Games just finished yesterday.
Yeah, shout out. Yeah, I think that works.
Okay, so we're dealing with a warlock then. Cool.
My first question to you, Roxel, was with all the kids TV that you're watching, is there any kids TV director that you would pitch Baldur's Gate 3 to? But Baldur's Gate 3 brought to you by Bluey?
So there is children's media designed for children, and there's children's media designed for children and parents. Blues are the best example, made for children, but has such an appeal to parents. Honestly, I am more excited to see the next season of Bluey, if and when it comes back, than my daughter will ever be. My daughter loves the music of Bluey, the intro of Bluey. She likes tearing the pages out of her little Bluey book that we bought her. She does not care for the world of Bluey, the character development, positive depiction of sort of father, like male role models, yada, 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 yada.
She knows nothing of the lore.
Yeah, she knows nothing of the lore. She knows nothing of Australia.
I'm not in Bluey for the lore, please.
What she really loves, she's a big Sesame Street head. She loved that little red boy. She loved the little red furry boy, let me tell you.
I think you stumbled on the best answer, though, because
that's so compelling.
Sesame Street Baldur's Gate is great.
Oh,
Sesame's Gate, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, this week we got Shadowheart, who's here to talk about, like, why you shouldn't talk to strangers.
D&D is how I learned how to do math, so...
I honestly want to see the interaction between Astarion and the Count, because the Count, I think, is just, like, objectively way cooler and would cause Astarion to, like, question the very fundamental aspects of his personality.
Also, I think the Count can go out in sunlight, and that would...
Wait, is the Count an ascended vampire? Holy shit! Holy shit!
What kind of bones are buried under that street?
Oh my god! This changes everything. As I alluded to earlier, there is a bit of a trade going on of anime right now. I am getting Nintendo 64 to watch One Piece, and Nintendo 64 is getting me to watch Hunter x Hunter. That is how you pronounce it, right? It's not Hunter x Hunter?
Yes, it is Hunter x Hunter, and I also need to clarify for everybody in Hollywood listening, I did not commit to all of One Piece. I committed to episode per episode. I mean, if I like it, I'll continue. I'm not gonna be like,
It's a solid fifth of the series. That's good enough for me.
yeah, I thought so.
This is like the predictions and or questions zone. This is our first time doing this. I am currently still very early into Hunter x Hunter. I'm in like Hunter exam arc, I guess is probably what you would call it. They've just gotten to like the swamp where there's a bunch of like weird stuff that's pretending to be other stuff. And I have met the clown.
You've met Hisoka. What's your take on him?
Incredible character. I don't know, I know very little about, like, kind of the only characterization I've really gotten of Hisoka so far, where he got mad at this guy and, like, tore his arms off, or, like, cut his arms off with a card, and then, like, he kind of fought some dudes in the swamp. I don't know why yet, other than, like, he's a dick, question mark. But I don't know if I need more, because, like, he just works. The design, things haven't really been a contest with him. It's just been so easy. Like, there's a reason that they are focusing on this character. One of the characters is saying, like, oh yeah, the devil himself could pass the Hunter exam as long as the examiners let him. And they're focusing on this guy. And I'm like, oh, cool. So he's just, like, straight up the devil. Like, that's sick. That's what I want in my anime.
Yeah. He is the devil. He's also not a beloved character in my house. Because he's also... I can content warning you, but it will also spoil slightly, but it might be good to know. Or even for listeners.
I'll figure it out as time goes on. I am not expecting this character to do good things.
No.
I'm expecting them to be a compelling antagonist, is the way I would say it. Someone that's either fun to hate or compelling to hate.
Hisoka is a very interesting character, and, like, shows up frequently... is like very interesting, big impacts on the plot at various moments, especially during the show for Gon, and we'll learn more in the future. Do you have any predictions about where Hunter x Hunter is going to go?
I have one prediction so far, other than the basic obvious stuff like, oh, they're gonna probably pass the Hunter exam. I feel like that's not even worth really bringing up. Tonpa the Rookie Crusher, as they call him. My guess is that, like, it's going to look like Gon's whole group is going to pass, and Tonpa the Rookie Crusher is going to be like, I am so mad at the fact that I wasn't able to get a single one of them to fail, that he's going to, like, pass the exam just to fuck with them in the future. I don't expect him to be super successful in doing that. There was such a weird amount of emphasis on Tonpa, you know, him trying to, like, basically cheat people out of the exam. I'm suspecting that's going to go somewhere. Like, I don't expect him to suddenly become, like, a final boss type character, but I'm expecting him to sort of be like, you know, the junior troopa, at least in the beginning.
Yeah, I can see that. Okay, yeah. I'm not going to confirm nor deny anything that will happen.
Please don't.
Yeah. And you're not going to do the same for One Piece.
I'm sure the Hunter x Hunter watchers are listening to this and they're like, oh my god, this guy's so stupid.
I think there's some Tompa lovers in our audience, of every person in Hollywood. Oh, one thing before we move, I was going to shout out Media Club Plus for getting me into Hunter x Hunter. It's also a very good podcast. Like, it goes through every episode, and that is what got me there. I've been following Friends at the Table forever, and it is their first season does a watch through of the whole show. Like, watched alongside them. Had my girlfriend watch it with me because I was like, this is so good. So yeah, that's how we got here. One Piece. I think episode 3. We've collected the man who fights with 3 swords, whose name is Zoro?
Zoro, what a guy. Shoutouts to holding a sword in your mouth.
I guess, yeah, like, for other people who somehow have not heard anything about One Piece like I have. Yeah, the guy fights with a sword in his mouth, and I'm like, okay, this is zany. Like, I see what this show is going for, and I get it, and I have no idea where we're going to go next, but, like, yeah. I'm also quite surprised that Kobe actually went ahead and joined the Marines.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why, but I was like, obviously he's not going to join the Marines. He's been like, it's not just that he was like taken in by Luffy, you know, the last few episodes trying to help his cause, but also like, the Marines are bad people. We saw this on show. If I saw like some military people trying to kill a child for releasing a prisoner in like a yard, I think I would say maybe the military is bad.
That is one reasonable conclusion that could be reached. I agree.
Yeah.
Kobe is my stupid, idiotic chud son that I hate, whom I love. He inspires complex emotions within me.
I am excited for them to be on opposite sides of the pirate war or whatever. I guess like the Marines hate the pirates hate the Marines.
And you had a laundry list of questions, right?
I have a laundry list of questions, but exclusively about the devil fruit.
I'll try to answer ones that don't give stuff away too much. And that I know the answer to, because I imagine I don't know the answer to a lot of these.
If you want to just say pass.
I can either give an answer or say pass. That works.
Okay. How do the fruit taste?
Pass.
Is the taste affected by the powers that the fruits give?
I think so, but I'm not actually sure.
Okay. The corollary question of that is texture as well. Is it like, is the gummy fruit like a gummy fruit?
I think the answer is yes, but I'm not 100% sure on that one.
Okay. There's multiple devil fruits, I assume, because Luffy's not going to be the only person with powers. Are all of the fruits have real world analogs? Like, are these just like apples and pomegranates and grapes and stuff? Or are they wholly conjured ideas of fruits? Like, I don't know, what if a strawberry was the size of a pumpkin?
I think it's going to be more fun for you to see a few of them than for me to answer the question here.
Okay, good. Couple of questions about preparation. Can you smoothie them?
Presumably, yes, but I would not recommend drinking a smoothie that contains multiple.
So you can't, so you wouldn't want to like fruit salad it. You can't like bake it in a pie. I guess you could have one that's just one pie.
You certainly can. I just wouldn't recommend eating it.
Okay, good. And you can eat it baked. So like you can like, I can make a gum bum fruit Pop-Tart?
Probably.
Okay, good. I got to prepare the menu for...
Oh, yeah, got to. Yeah.
Yeah, I need to know all the logistics. My final question is, like, eating is a complex process, anatomically. It begins in the mouth, continues throughout other parts of your body, and has an eventual end.
Yes.
How far into the process does the fruit have to get for the powers to happen? Is it love at first bite? Is it like you have to, wait a few hours, eat some fiber, and then you get the powers?
Of all the questions, this is one of the ones that I think there actually is an answer in the lore that I simply have forgotten because there's a lot of episodes of One Piece. It's definitely not the most extreme answer to this question in either direction, from what I remember.
Yeah, like the extreme ends of the body.
I'm pretty sure it's not just like a single bite and it's like, okay, now the devil is within me. Really, this is a deep theological question more than anything else.
So in Spider-Man, the spider bites the Spider-Man and he gets the powers. But in One Piece, you bite the fruit and then you get the powers.
Yes.
Got it.
It fits the piratic theme, right? You're plundering the powers from the fruit, question mark?
Yeah. Are there seeds?
I think so.
Do you have to eat the seeds?
I don't think so. I'm not sure though, actually. There's a lot of questions about you've asked a lot more questions about like the actual geometry, like the actual biology of the devil fruit than I ever did at any point. I'll be completely honest with you.
What other questions could he have? Like, I don't, it all is going to give you powers. Like, I've seen anime before. You're going to do weird shit when you eat it.
There are some unique quirks of this power system that you almost certainly haven't realized yet.
What powers do you think our fruits would give? Like what powers do you think you would get from a strawberry, an orange? I know you like grapes.
I think that really the question is like, what devil fruit would you eat if you like what devil fruit would you design for yourself is like really I think the question that you're asking. I'm not sure, to be completely honest with you.
I feel like that's a question for future episodes. I only want to talk about the fruit. That's what the show is about, right? It's just how many episodes? 1,000 episodes, and it's just like a chopped episode where they give you random stuff in the basket, but it's like that, but with devil fruit. That's One Piece. It's one piece of fruit.
I hate to spoil it, but they do in fact talk about and show things that are not fruit on screen.
Dang it! They have so many episodes. They're wasting their time not on the fruit.
If you wanted fruit, you would have read the manga.
I don't even know what the fruit looks like for Luffy.
You will find out. That is something they'll show you on screen.
Yeah.
Sorry, spoilers for I think like a few episodes from where you currently are. You will see that fruit.
It's also funny to like have spoilers for a show that has been on air for so long, and also for a manga that has existed since time began, since the Big Bang, I think.
pretty sure that the One Piece manga, at the very least, is older than you.
It can vote. It can run for. Could the One Piece manga run for president?
Let me check. So release date was 1997. Okay, so I don't think it's actually older than you in that case. Never mind. I thought it was earlier in the 90s. The One Piece manga is pushing 30.
So in 6 years we'll be able to vote for Luffy for president.
Yes.
Okay.
One Piece could almost be in the Senate at this point. Could be in the House of Representatives.
You know what? It might be better than many of the people already there.
I would agree with that.
I don't really know where like Luffy stands on like
You will.
solar power, but like I know where he stands on devil power.
You will learn Luffy's opinions politically quite in depth in this show.
Fascinating. I will learn about politics. I will not learn about fruit. That's not what I thought would happen.
You'll learn about both, just maybe not all of the questions about fruit that you want answered.
That's fair. Well, I mean, it's still ongoing, so there's more time for more fruit.
That's true. The final arc is still being written right now. It could end entirely with a treatise on fruit. That is very possible. Like I say that as a joke, but like I do genuinely think that some of the fundamental mysteries of devil fruits that like are kind of still hanging around are actually going to be important to how the story ends.
Well, I'm excited to see where it all goes, and very excited to see what is the One Piece. A lot of people like it. There's a lot of episodes. It's got to have something there.
I feel the same about Hunter x Hunter. I'm enjoying it so far, but I also know that it's like one of the most beloved shows of all time, and I'm like, I get why people like it. I haven't gotten to the point that like I understand why people go crazy about it yet, and I'm excited to get there.
Yeah, I think you shall. Roxel doesn't have an anime that we're swapping with, so
no, I guess that the anime would be life and having a child.
The real anime is the children you have along the way.
Dragon Ball all the way down. I am currently reading through Dragon Ball Z, and I am in the beginnings of the Majin Buu arc. When I was younger, I had a lot of fondness for the Majin Buu arc just because a lot of flashy things happened during it. I am interested to see how it contrasts with the manga, which I'm someone who watched DBZ with the original dub by Funimation. I've never seen Kai, but it is really striking how the characterization of Goku in the manga is starkly different than Goku in the original dubbed anime. And it actually helps me understand not just his characterization in Dragon Ball Super, but also how he is secretly the antagonist of Dragon Ball Super. Goku is a problem. But I'll have to talk about that in another episode.
That's a good cliffhanger for us. We're running against midnight here on recording day, so I think we should close this one out for our first episode. Any final thoughts before we close the episode?
Going back to the ergonomic keyboard, it's not about what you remove, it's about what you keep.
That still doesn't answer the question.
I want to go on record and say Silksong is a cozy game, but Hollow Knight is not a cozy game.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, with that, I guess we should do the final outro stuff that podcasts usually do. Thank you for listening. This has been the first episode, the inaugural episode of Fall Damage Can't Hurt You, the podcast where fall damage cannot hurt you, but our takes can. If you liked this episode, please subscribe. You should be able to do that wherever you're listening right now. Please, more importantly, share this with a friend who you think might find it interesting. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, I guess you can you can comment in the place that you're listening to this episode in. I don't know. We might have a show account for this at some point in the future. We don't today though. So, yeah.
2 out of 3 of the hosts have no social media, so.
Yeah, it's going to be a little hard to find us, but it shouldn't be impossible necessarily. At the very least, you can comment wherever you're, Spotify or Apple Podcasts or whatever you're listening to this on. We will be able to see it there. If you have any concerns, then unfortunately, we can finally answer the question that we had. What would we take out of the ergonomic keyboard? All of the letters that spell concerns.
Concern, maybe not concerns.
No, get the S out of there too.
We don't need S. We've grown past the need for S.
As a society, as an society, we do not need S anymore.
As a people.
Tired WASD. Wired WAD.
I'd like to take a call from the live studio audience that is here on set.
I did.
Yeah.
I do not have the budget for a live studio audience.
Depending on how loud I talk and how easily my daughter picks up the sound of my voice, a mere hallway distance away, she is a rapt, boisterous audience of one.
And if my cats just get displeased with not being in the same room as them, we might have some additional members of that audience.
Okay, well, I stand corrected. We do in fact have a very cheap studio audience, but they are live, which is what matters.
I'm buying like a new litter box for those kitties right now. They are not cheap at all.
Ooh, what kind of litter box are you getting for them?
What's their hourly though? Like their hourly can't be very high. Like there's no way they're union, right?
I thought you were talking about their hourly like piss or turd count. Because that's definitely a way to measure the productivity of a feline.
What's their milliliters per hour?
Milliliters per hour. We're going to be looking at like, I don't know, a daily litter box scoop, and should be more than once daily because they only use one. We have two, but they only use one. Their hourly cost, though, hard to say. Sometimes it's very high when I have to take them to the vet multiple times in a month. Talking about you, baby B. I love you, but you can't keep going there. But day to day, it's usually pretty manageable.
Okay. Well,
the thing I find hardest to believe about that premise is that cats utilize the metric system.
I've been watching too much The Pit.
I feel like cats would use some sort of like, not even imperial, not metric. It would be some third other thing that is nonsensical even to the cats.
They use the weird imperial system units that no one uses. Like, oh yeah, they measure things in stones instead of pounds. Like,
yeah, I'd definitely say like my kitty poops a bushel.
Anyway, we're here for a podcast.
I think we're talking about litter boxes and what measuring system that cats utilize to assess their fecal production.
Wait. I can tie this all together. So the only thing that never ever will take fall damage is a cat, because cats always land on their feet, and also, you know, mine are very goofy, but they're pretty graceful.
Is the discussion of volume of cat piss truly how we want to begin this podcast? Is this truly this foot we want to set forward into the world?
I can't sit here and not. Cats do take fall damage because a cat does not always land on his feet. Because if you actually drop a cat at just the optimal height from the ground, they will not have the ability to right themselves with their very flexible spine, and they would land on their back, ergo receiving fall damage.
You say optimal. That sounds kind of the opposite of optimal for the cat.
Okay, if you were assessing a range of distances from the ground, and there was what you would call a sweet spot between how near to the ground you were and how far away from the ground you were.
There's a logarithmic graph starting, at some height, and then as you go up, that is when cats are much more able to like turn around and land on their feet. But there's some point where the lines intersect, and I know what logarithms mean, right? Definitely.
The extent to which we are remotely educated in the sciences is we have watched much more Kurzgesagt than anyone should be able to watch and claim that they're neurotypical.
No, like I get the point you're making. Like there is an objective function for which you can claim this is the optimal point. My point is that like I don't think that it's really an optimum in any colloquial sense of the term, especially not for the cat.
No. I'll also say one of my cats definitely will always land on her feet, and then the other cat will never land on her feet. She has no grace. She has no style. She has no grace.
We got Lanky in there. Let's fucking go.
Now it's a podcast.
Now it's a fucking podcast. Oh, oops! It's Bone Bottom. Bone Bottom's the town.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
My bad. My apologies to the inhabitants of Bone Bottom.
Wow. You go to a funeral? Well, no, redact it.
It's okay. Roxel's not here.
Roxel's not here. We're safe. Hey, secret podcast. What's your favorite late thing that happens in Silksong that Roxel doesn't know about?
Carmelita. It's got to be Carmelita.
Yeah.
Carmelita's just such a good fight. Oh my god.
But now I am re-recording.
Oh, shit.
Benvenuto nella mia torre. Non verresti a fare un giro sul mio treno?